Some conversations feel like a straight line. You talk, I talk, then we're done. But the most powerful relationships don't move in straight lines. They loop, they return, they build. They turn communication into something closer to a Mobius strip, one continuous surface with only one side, where inside and outside become the same path. In mathematics, a Mobius strip is a ribbon with a twist. Run your finger along it, and you never hit an edge. You return to where you started, connected, not separated. In business, the Mobius method is the same idea applied to relationships, communication so transparent, so reciprocal, that there is no hard line between brand voice and buyer voice, between leader and team. It becomes one continuous conversation. This matters because most friction lives at the edges. Marketing says one thing, sales says another, service says a third. Inside and outside don't match. The Mobius method removes the edge. What we say and what we do are the same surface. Trust becomes the natural experience. A quick origin. The strip is named after the German mathematician August Ferdinand Mobius, who described it in the 1800s. It fascinated scientists because of its non-orientability, the idea that there's no front or back. For relationships, that's our first breakthrough. In the Mobius method, there's no front stage for customers and backstage for teams. The values on the inside are identical to the promises on the outside. Psychologically, this changes everything. When people sense congruence, the brain relaxes. Cortisol drops, oxytocin rises, and collaboration becomes easier to choose. Daniel Goleman would call this emotional coherence. Amy Edmondson's research on psychological safety shows teams in coherent environments make better decisions faster because truth can travel without punishment. In a Mobius culture, truth has no locked door to knock on. You've seen the opposite. A company with beautiful ads and stressed-out teams. A dazzling pitch and a disappointing delivery. That gap is the twistless strip, a flat ribbon with two sides fighting each other. Customers feel it as skepticism. Employees feel it as fatigue. Leaders feel it as churn. The Mobius method asks a simple question. What if the message and the mechanism were the same thing? Let's make it practical. Step 1, expose the loop. Most organizations speak at their audience instead of with them. We fix this by making feedback public and useful. Publish what you're learning from customers. Invite commentary, respond where everyone can see it, and implement visible changes. This is Robert Cialdini's principle of consistency at scale. When people watch you align words and actions in public, trust compounds. Step 2, remove the backstage voice. If your internal language disrespects customers or contradicts the brand, that edge will leak into your experience. Rewrite internal processes in the same tone you use for customers, clear, respectful, humble, and precise. In the Mobius method, internal and external copy sound like the same person. Step 3, replace pitch with proof. Nonlinear communication doesn't rely on louder claims. It relies on faster evidence. Show timelines, share drafts, explain constraints, narrate decisions. The more you narrate reality, the less you need to persuade it. Simon Sinek's "Start with why" meets "Show your work," and buyers lean in because honesty is interesting. Here's the point most sales training missed. Transparency is not a risk to persuasion. It's the engine of persuasion. For years, the advice was control the message, but modern audiences have message control detectors. Try to hide the loop, and you increase resistance. Reveal the loop, and you invite partnership. Consider our old friend Eddie. He's managing a complex account with shifting requirements. Instead of promising what he can't guarantee, he opens the loop. Here's what we know today. Here's what's uncertain. Here's our next check-in. He invites the customer inside the decision flow. No backstage, no mystery. A month later, when a delay hits, the customer says, "Thanks for the heads up. We saw it coming with you." Momentum continues because the relationship never left the conversation. There's a second scientific angle worth noting: feedback loops. Norbert Wiener, the father of cybernetics, showed that systems become stable and intelligent through feedback, not rigid control. In a Mobius relationship, feedback isn't an interruption, it's the circulatory system. Information returns to the source, improves the output, and the next cycle gets smarter. Paul Zach's trust research indicates that public acts of transparency boost perceived integrity and increase willingness to cooperate. Harvard Business Review reports that buyers exposed to progress transparency, updates that show real steps being taken, are significantly more forgiving when issues arise. In other words, a narrated delay is often more persuasive than a silent promise. The loop wins because honesty travels faster than spin. Now, a contrarian moment. You've heard meet people where they are. True. But Mobius relationships go further. Bring people where you are. Invite them into your process so the outcome belongs to both of you. When buyers co-own the road, they don't fight the destination. This is reciprocity upgraded from favors to shared authorship. How do we design Mobius communication in daily work? Mobius move number 1, ask what would we say publicly, then say it. If your honest internal answer would calm a customer, publish it proactively. Silence creates stories. Transparency writes the real one. Mobius move number 2, echo outcomes, not objections. When a client says, "We've tried this before," respond with, "Let's define the outcome you didn't get last time and design the path together." Echoing outcomes puts you on the same side of the table and keeps the loop moving forward. Mobius move number 3, build proof cadences, weekly updates, visible dashboards, short demos, rhythms where evidence is expected and delivered. Reliability becomes a heartbeat the buyer can feel. Mobius move number 4, teach your team the same tone you promise the world. Leaders extend or break the loop with micro moments, answering quickly, admitting error, praising by name. Each action says, our inside voice matches our outside voice. Let's return to the strip. If you cut a Mobius strip down the center, you don't get 2 separate rings. You get a longer loop. The act of engaging doesn't divide the relationship, it extends it. That's what happens when customers complain inside the loop and see you respond. The relationship lengthens. They didn't just return to 0, they gained distance with you. And if you keep cutting, adding more iterations, the path grows again. Feedback makes the loop more robust. The audience becomes your editor. The market becomes your collaborator. This is how communities form around brands without content feeling like propaganda. The loop owns the narrative because the people own the loop. Where does this connect to performance? Back to our formula. Credibility times consistency divided by self-interest, = trust velocity. The Mobius method supercharges the numerator, credibility and consistency, by showing your work in public. And it reduces the denominator, self-interest, by inviting shared authorship. Velocity increases because the loop reduces drag. A few closing diagnostics to check your loop. Is our internal language the same as our external promise? If not, that's an edge to remove. Where can we narrate reality sooner? Progress transparency is persuasion. Which proof cadence will we commit to? Weekly progress notes beat quarterly surprises. Who outside the team can co-author this with us? Customers become guardians of the loop they helped build. The Mobius method doesn't replace your strategy, it reveals it. It's how your ethics become mechanics and how your mechanics become marketing without ever faking a thing. In the next chapter, we'll put the pieces together in applied sales psychology, turning empathy into performance. You'll see how listening, alignment, and the Mobius loop convert into playbooks that leaders and teams can scale. If you're ready to turn this into practice right now, download the Applied Sales Psychology Manifesto. You can find the link in the comments. Then, take your trust conversion audit, and the link also can be found in the comments. You'll discover where the loop breaks, where credibility compounds, and how to turn transparency into irresistible momentum. Because the most persuasive message isn't shouted from the stage, it's co-written in the loop.